How to write a hardstyle melody in 2023. Why the date? Clickbait. Hi, welcome, I'm Sour and this is a video about how to write a hardstyle melody, and I honestly do not know what I'm going to do. Normally my videos are scripted and this one is not, so this might be funny. I'm gonna set the BPM to 155 BPM because we're cool. So for writing a melody I like to start with the chords first. For this I'm gonna grab a... let's not grab piano for once, let's grab a silent one. Ooh. Okay, so Fruity Masters came out with a really cool silent one bank, The Sound of Silence, Up Yours, I don't know. And this really cool bank has one preset that for me is worth the entire... I didn't buy it, I got it from him. But this preset is... for me, this preset is worth everything. Normally I try to make something like this in Serum and it just takes a while to make and it's like... demands a lot more CPU usage, but for writing chords, this to me is perfect. I'm gonna start with an actual bass line first, so... let's see. Ooh. Okay, so I didn't really have a plan when I started to record, so this is gonna be fun. For writing chords and bass lines, I tend to either start with the bass line first and like, kind of like flow, or sorry, write whatever my brain thinks of, right? So, you know that when you're like listening to two notes like this, for example, in a melody, that there's like this weird feeling in the back of your head, kind of like going from, oh, I want something like higher or lower. It's the same voice that tells you to push people in front of traffic. And in this case, it's fine to listen to it. Actually, that's kind of how I write melodies. So listen into that like manic little voice and maybe give it some right of speaking. Nope. Okay, so let's... you know what? I'm gonna start with the melody first. And I think this might be a good moment to actually talk about what I find most important in writing melodies. Actually, in just making music in general. So, it is really easy to like start like this and kind of like get hung up like, there's no idea sparking it, or maybe you're actually writing something and it still doesn't really grab attention. What I like to do is then just start over. We didn't really spend much time on this yet, at least it feels like it, but we didn't really spend much time in this project yet. And especially not in this melody, right? So we can just start over whenever we want, as long as we don't get hung up on it. Let's grab an actual bass note, as a bit of a reference. Let's see, what do I actually want to make? Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Ooh, yeah, I like this. Okay, in that case I'm gonna... ooh. Let's actually finish the chord progression with this, or at least start it, so it's a bit like easier to get the reference. Let's shut the piano up for just a second. Da na 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 na. Let's get rid of the metronome because it's kind of annoying. I've kind of playing with the chords just to get the tone right. Ooh. Yeah, this could work. Very weird vibe, but I kind of like it. Should I do a tutorial on singing, by the way? I might do a tutorial on singing soon. Da, 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 da. Ba, 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 ba. I'm quickly adding like notes for pitch bends. On the piano it doesn't really work, but once you start adding synths and like especially when you enable the mono legato, this sounds pretty cool. Okay, so what I often like to do is I like to make like a certain rhythm that like extends for 2 bars, right? So for 2 bars it's kind of still evolving and still unique like this. And for the second half I like to just keep the rhythm identical. So even if melody wise I do something completely different, it still sounds like one melody. So if I got the timing right from this, like if you just copy it, or even like if I just implement a couple of like key timing elements, for example like if this thing like comes back, for example like there, and maybe like with a different note there, it would still kind of fit. I messed up the timing, I'm an idiot. And with this you can kind of like make and match your melody with itself. I don't know, to me it makes sense, to me it helps a lot. If you're worried about like it becoming stale, you could make it slightly different in the end of like your 8-bar loop. So this is 4 bars, if you extend it to 8, with like of course different progression, you can change the ending if you want. Or something else, I don't know. Da, 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 da. Okay, so this kind of plays into my less is more theory, right? So we make hardstyle, which is kind of like fast music, and a lot of people kind of assume that, oh, it needs to be fast, so I need to have a lot of notes, right? Not really. If you leave a couple of gaps, for example, like I've got there, like this part and this area. You have like a bit of room for your reverb to go fill it up, but also you kind of create more movement. And sometimes a melody with less notes and like bigger gaps can sound a lot more energetic than just like a weird ARP-ish style melody. Okay, so let's copy this chord progression like this, very original, nice. And now let's actually do something with the leads, or the leads. Let's actually do the second half. So what I said about a repetition. And this is what I meant about adding a bit more variation in the rhythm in the second half. Ooh, this gives... yeah, I like this. Ooh, I like this a lot actually. I did not expect this to go so well. Nice. Ooh, I like this a lot. Holy shit. I don't really place a note without listening to it, because that matters a lot. And I also like listen with the context. So that means if I'm working on this part, I'm setting the cue point or the loop point to somewhere like there or whatever. Because without this note could go anywhere. Like this will sound good on a number of different notes if it's on its own, but with this combined, it won't. So just listen to the context. It's really important to just keep listening to the whole thing. Huh. Okay, now I need to layer this. Da, 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 da. Aha, that's more like it. Now a bit of mixing. This is looking really cool. Okay, time for the end result.